I still remember the exact moment the room turned on me. Not loudly, not violently, just confidently. A woman in a cream-colored suit glanced at me once, not really at me, more like through me, then snapped her fingers toward a uniformed staff member and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Excuse me. This woman doesn't belong here. Can you escort her out before boarding starts?" The word woman landed like an insult dressed up as politeness. I stood there holding my boarding pass, feeling every eye in the private lounge slide toward me. Glass walls, leather chairs, quiet jazz humming through hidden speakers. The kind of place where people lower their voices because they assume everyone else is important. Apparently I wasn't. I looked exactly like what they thought. I was an older black woman in a simple cardigan, sensible shoes, no logos, no jewelry, worth noticing, comfortable, unremarkable. The kind of person people assume wandered in by mistake. The man beside her, her husband, I guessed, laughed softly into his drink. "First class is on the other side of the terminal," he said like he was doing me a favor. Their son didn't even look up at first. When he did, he smirked and pulled out his phone. That's how it started. Not with shouting, with certainty. I could have spoken up right away. I could have said, "You're wrong." I could have raised my voice, demanded respect, made a scene. But I've lived long enough to know something about moments like this. When people are this sure you don't matter, arguing too early only feeds them. So I stayed quiet. I handed over my boarding pass. Seat 2A, private charter, paid in full. The staff member scanned it. Green light, valid. "That can't be right," the woman said immediately, stepping closer, heels clicking like punctuation. "Run it again." The second scan beeped green too. Her face tightened. "Anyone can fake documents these days." The son laughed now, fully filming. "This is wild. Grandma really thought she could just walk onto a charter." Someone behind me whispered. Someone else pulled out a phone. I could feel the room shifting, curiosity replacing indifference, but no one stepped in. I felt the old familiar ache in my chest, not anger, not fear. Recognition. I've been underestimated in boardrooms full of men who thought my presence was a diversity checkbox. I've been questioned by politicians who assumed my success had to come from someone else. I've watched people talk over me, around me, past me, convinced I was furniture. This was just another room. The staff called security. A supervisor arrived. He was polite, careful, uncomfortable. He checked my ID, my frequent flyer status, platinum, years of records. "She's cleared," he said finally. The woman crossed her arms. "Do you know who we are?" That question always tells you everything. They blocked my path to the gate, forming a neat little wall of entitlement. The husband glanced at his watch, expensive, obvious, and sighed dramatically. "We don't have time for this," he said. "We have meetings." I looked at my own watch. Simple. Quiet. I checked the time because I needed to make a decision. Then I said the first thing I'd said in minutes. "You never asked my name." The sentence wasn't sharp. It wasn't loud. But it cut through the room like someone turned the volume down on everything else. For half a second no one spoke. Then the woman scoffed. "This isn't about your name." "That's interesting," I said calmly, "because it tells me everything about how you see people." Her eyes flashed. "Enough. We're done being patient." The supervisor turned to me and said gently, "Ma'am, would you mind stepping aside while we resolve this?" That was it. Not the insults, not the filming, not the laughter. The request to make myself smaller again so they could stay comfortable. I reached into my bag, slowly, purposefully. I took out my phone. The son laughed. "Oh, this should be good. Calling your lawyer." I didn't look at him. The call connected on the first ring. "Cancel the North Star contract," I said, effective immediately. The words hung in the air, unnoticed at first. The woman kept talking something about boundaries, about people playing the discrimination card, until her husband froze. He went very still, like someone just did math in his head and didn't like the answer. I ended the call and slipped the phone back into my bag. Then I finally looked at him. "Mr. Hale," I said softly, "I believe you wanted me removed from first class." His face drained of color. Because he knew my name. Because he knew exactly what North Star meant. The silence that followed was different. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Real. Phones were still recording, but now they were pointed at him. He swallowed. "You're Margaret Lewis." I smiled, not cruelly, not triumphantly. Just enough. "I'm the woman you decided didn't belong," I said. "I'm also the CEO whose company supplies 40% of your revenue, and I'm the mother of the engineer whose patents your next product depends on." The son lowered his phone. The woman's mouth opened, then closed. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't list awards or net worth or titles. I didn't need to. Apologies started tumbling out, clumsy, urgent, meaningless. Offers, excuses, misunderstandings. I listened, then I shook my head. This was never about misunderstanding, I said. It was about how comfortable you felt deciding my worth. I stepped forward. No one blocked my path this time. As I walked toward the gate, the room parted quietly. I could feel eyes on my back, some ashamed, some inspired, some still confused. At the door, I paused. I turned back once and said, "Respect doesn't cost anything. But today, disrespect cost you everything." Then I boarded my flight. No applause, no victory speech, just the soft sound of footsteps fading into a cabin where I'd always belonged. Later that night, people told me the video went viral, that debates exploded online, that opinions flew in every direction. I didn't watch it, because the real moment, the one that mattered, wasn't on camera. It was the moment I chose not to beg for dignity, and instead stood still long enough for the truth to reveal itself. So let me ask you, do you think people respect money? Or do they just respect the power to walk away when they're wrong? Tell me what you think in the comments.